Alright. So this guy is a pain in the ass, and we actually came into the battlefield with 42 minutes. 42 minutes, and we're barely winning right now. Barely. We have 13 minutes left to kill him, and he could kill us again in just a moment. This is K. He is a really tricky boss, but I will show you a trick. Other than the fact that we have a Radiance solo skill chain samurai in the party, who is carrying really hard. We can take a look. He's definitely got all the damage with his skill chains, being second highest damage. Party setup is... Hold on, let me actually establish hate really quick. Do the party set. I'll show you the party setup. He's dead again. Fuck. He needs to stop dying. Right, so Samurai on Inertia. We've got a White Mage Scholar, Bard, and a White Mage, Geo Red Mage, Paladin Warrior, me, Corsair Dancer. I think the Corsair Dancer should probably be Corsair White Mage or Corsair Ranger, not Corsair Dancer. See about getting this guy raised. Okay. He's not happy. He's died a lot. We do have time to still win. Going full tank, but because he's down, I should actually just go full TP. So I'll put on my TP set instead. Put my tank set on when I go red like that, for sure. He needs to stop telling me how to play my damn job. I'm the one with the fucking Burk Gang, dude. I'm not gonna listen to him. I'm gonna play my damn job. He says I need to stay in full PDT gear all the time. I don't. We have a lot of mana on our team, so we can get heals on the Paladin if he goes red. If I go red, it doesn't mean anything. He's like freaking out thinking I'm gonna die. Virus really sucks. I think I've got a remedy for that though. Actually it's gone, so it's good. So yeah, have the tank gear on, I'll take it off, put the TP gear back on, because he's got a regen tick, and I want as much DPS as I can possibly have to counteract his regen tick. Notice he's at 23 right now, going to 24. Atonement will do 2,000 damage, and it'll keep him at 24 for a little while. He hit 25. I don't have Bard songs either. If I had Bard songs, I could keep him at that number. I can't actually lower his HP, but I can keep him from regenning with my TP set. But this samurai doesn't believe me. I wish he would actually fucking not die and come up here and kill this thing. back. Alright, I will tank this time. And I will make sure he doesn't die as much as I possibly can. Alright, so he's gonna solo Radiance to deal damage. And I'm gonna not interrupt that while it's going on. Notice currently right now, K actually does have a regen tick. He's got spikes and a regen tick. There's the Radiance, so I can actually bust Atonement right here. Only after you see Radiance you can actually weapon skill and not interrupt him. Gonna open with Fudo. Keep that damn samurai alive. Normally with 6 minutes remaining and 20% HP left, it's a wipe. It's usually a wipe. But look at the boss HP, 13% already, in less than a minute. Now this is the tricky part. This is what's going to make us or break us right here. When it hits 10, we have to run. We have to glitch it at 10 or we lose. Period. There's no other way to win this thing. You'll see what I mean with the glitch. Alright, notice Kasha didn't drop his HP. Light only dropped at 1%. Here's the Radiance. Yeah, he's preaching to the choir. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to Atonement here. And I'm going to leave. He drawed in. Okay, we're going to die. Yeah, we died. The draw in. Rip. I don't know what to tell him, dude. That's a tricky one. That is a tricky one. Because the draw-in happens. Yeah, Fuller's is 10 yalms. But, I don't know. I'm trying to see if K was actually attacking me or him. I can't tell. I can just see the spikes. I mean, Atonement was doing pretty good damage. So I probably had hate. Yeah, he's salty. Anyway, normally what you would do is you would actually wait for him to use Dancing Fullers, and you would either take the damage and let it happen, or you would run out of range, which is 10 yalms, so you go 10.1 or more, and then the Fullers will go off but not hit anything because there's nothing nearby him. Uh, the problem is if he uses his draw in before his fullers. Like, okay, so when he hits his 10%, he's supposed to use dancing fullers. Well, if he was in the middle of doing something else, like this interference right here, he'll actually wait to do dancing fullers. So he did the interference right here, and then after that, he should have done dancing fullers as his next move, right? Well, notice that we get drawn in first, and then he does dancing fullers, and no one can get away. So that was the problem. It's always like that too. If you get drawn in, you're all dead. You're all dead. Like there's nothing. So the way to avoid this is when you know he's about to do dancing fullers, you wait for him to start prepping dancing fullers and then you run. You have to see the text in the log and then run, because if you don't see the text in the log, then what's going to happen is he's going to dick around and not do anything, and then you're going to get out of range. He's going to use draw in and immediately follow it with dancing fullers. So you think that you've got it timed, but you don't. It's never right on. What happens is when you hit 10% HP or 75 or 50 or whatever the other 25, when you hit these numbers, it unlocks dancing fullers as a weapon skill for the mob to do, but he has to wait for his turn to do it because he's turn based, okay? So what would have happened is if we had stood right next to him the whole time and not moved, when he says get ready to run here, if I had stayed there and waited for dancing fullers and then ran, I probably wouldn't have gotten us all drawn in. Assuming that I had aggro anyway, which I probably did because I was the paladin, but he kept pulling it off of me anyway. So I knew that we weren't going to win if we fucked that up, and we did fuck that up, and I've fucked it up several times. It's very difficult to actually get this, to pull this off. There's so many things that could go wrong, but a draw-in is definitely death. Like, there's nothing else. We can scroll up and see another dancing fullers, and I'll show you how the dodge actually works. You could just take the damage if you can survive it, but I didn't think I could survive it. So let's just scroll up, find his other dancing fullers. Okay, well, we're exiting. Anyway, I actually managed to do it correctly and then do it incorrectly at the end. But it's really tricky, like I said. You've got to wait for him to prep the move and then immediately run away. And you got to get 10 yalms really fast. So you would want your movement speed gear on for that, probably, if you have any. And that would get you around his 2500 plus damage that he's got on an AoE, which would help you win, right? But we went into that battlefield with 40 minutes. The samurai can do, with his full combo, can do radiance and take off probably a couple percentages of HP, maybe like 5 to 10% of the monster's HP, and this can happen within less than 1 minute. So technically it should take the samurai 10 minutes to kill the boss, if they are an RME samurai, or a master samurai of some kind, and they're doing a solo radiance. If that's the case, they have lethal damage within 10 minutes, as we saw, because he was at 20% HP remaining. Samurai came up there, whooped up on him, and he was at 13 right away, within 30 seconds period. So when you look at that 6-minute clock and it says, oh, that's only 6 minutes, we can't win, he's got 20% HP left, we can't win, you can if you have this setup. You can if you have a samurai that can solo radiance, because they can actually get that damage. So it's not always a loss. That one was a loss. We had a shot though. We did. If we didn't get drawn in at the end there, we would have been fine. But that was the one thing that was gonna fuck us, and it did. But anyway, that was the setup. If anyone's trying to do K and they can't seem to figure it out, I would go with that setup hands down, because not only do you get with that setup, you get so much time on the mega boss, because everyone breezes through the other floors. Matter of fact, on floors 1 through 4, I was actually disconnecting quite frequently. I changed to another router before I went back in to actually solve the problem. But I was disconnecting on the one connection that I was on. So I was like, well, this is fucked. But when I would log back in, they were already on another floor every time. Every time. So they were just mowing through Omen. And they got 42 minutes left in the battlefield when they encountered the boss floor, the mega boss floor, which is a really good amount. But as you saw, still not enough sometimes, because little things that could go wrong. If you ask me, the samurai dying is not the paladin's fault, like at all. Like, I covered when I could, I used all of my abilities when I could. It's the white mage's fault that the samurai died. But the samurai wants to blame me, and that's fine. But he doesn't know what he's talking about, in a sense, when he starts saying, oh, you need to wear PDT stuff and all this crap. Why? There's no reason. There's no reason to wear PDT stuff. Because all you're allowing the monster to do is get more regen as you're weakened. So you're weakened, and you're just giving the monster a chance to regen even more than it needed to. And all because your white mage can't spare a few extra cures when your paladin is in a full TP set. Yeah, full TP set. I can just press a button and quickly switch to a PDT or an MDT. If the boss wants to use a fuck you up ability, I can just switch to one of those other sets. Or I take a lot of damage, but I don't die anyway. So, why would it matter? It shouldn't matter. So, I guess lesson to be learned here is, even though the samurai is carrying, and he knows how to beat the boss, if he's weakened, and he's watching you fight the boss, don't listen to what he has to say if he tells you how to play your job. Play your job the way you know how to play your job. And in this case, I would recommend always do TP set when you're 1v1ing if you have heals. If you don't have heals, put your tank set on. Period. There's no other way to look at that. So I guess that's it for this video. It sucks that we couldn't beat that boss, but you know, there was other people that were trying to lot on the same item I had anyway, so I'll just get another group together, I'll copy their strategy, and we'll go back in with a samurai that can solo Radiance, and I'll probably win, with a less cocky party that is more on point with the cures. So I hope you guys learned something from this video. Make sure you rewatch it and look at the log as much as you can to kind of get a feel if you're trying to win against K. If you're trying to get a feel for the fight, that's basically it. You got to boost strength, right? You got the Kiragas, the Honor March, okay? And you got the Solo Radiance, Fudo into Kasha for Fusion, into Shoha for Light, and then you finish it off with your Radiance, which I don't know what he did for Radiance, because I didn't see it in the log there. We'll go down and see it again. Yeah, there's the Kasha. There's the Shoha. Any day now. Okay, Fudo does the Radiance. Okay, so there you go. And the Radiance is gonna do most of your damage, guys. Period. The Radiance is how you win. You spam Light and you spam Radiance and you win. That's it. You don't care about his regen. You don't care about his fuck you up abilities. Just walk away from them. And that's it. If you are tanking, I would recommend in this setup that you don't run from his fullers. You just take the damage, because it's not going to kill you if you're actually in an HP set and your HP is high enough. It won't kill you. So just keep that in mind. If you've got 3,000 plus HP, you're not going to die, because he only hits for 2,500 on that. But you got to make sure he doesn't use interference and then fullers, because the back-to-back AoE might actually kill you. So you could tank it out, but if you're not going to tank it out, you have to do a specific kind of dodge, which, again, I'll say this one more time. You wait for the HP value on the boss to get down to that critical number where it actually unlocks his weapon skill, but you don't run at that point. Everyone else can run, but the person who has hate has to keep tanking it until he preps that move. Period. Because he can actually skip that move. He can use another move. He's got a list of moves he can use. That's one of them. If he's not doing anything when he hits that critical number on his HP percentage, then he'll always use his Dancing Fullers. But if he's doing anything at all while he hits that critical number, he's going to put Fullers on the back burner and wait on it. Which means he'll go from 25 to 24% to 22% to 20% even maybe. But, typically 22 before he actually uses the Fullers. And then he uses that Fullers, and you weren't ready for it. Or even worse, he draws in everybody and then uses the Fullers right away. Because after his draw in, he's actually waiting for his Fullers because he's got no other abilities prepped. No other abilities, ever. Ever. You'll always see this guy draw in Dancing Fullers, if that's an available move. So keep that in mind. It will fuck you every time. You can take the Fullers to the face as a tank. You can sidestep the Fullers. You've got to be very careful. You've got to wait for him to use it. When he uses it, you run like fuck, and then you get 10 yawms, and you're good. And then you just walk back up to him after he uses the Fullers, because it won't hit anything. And that's it. And then you could just grind him down, and then you'll win every single time. Unless some bullshit like this happens, and your samurai dies. But, yeah, we were going to get drawn in anyway, because he didn't use Fullers like he was supposed to. So, that happened. Yeah, and here he is bitching about me weapon skilling when he said not to, but I made sure that I weapon skilled after he used Radiance, which is the only window of opportunity I have to get my Aftermath, and my Aftermath gives me bonus to my stats. I need that in order to actually stay in the game, period. And when time is a factor, you need every point of damage you can get your hands on. This samurai may or may not be able to actually win this thing by himself with like a basic bitch tank. But to be totally honest, you can't ever really... You lose more than you win when you put all of your eggs in one basket, and these guys don't realize that. Yes, they have a way to win. Yes, it's an effective way to win. But how many times did you die? How many times did we have to watch you wear off your weakness? I counted like 3 or 4 in that one. So that's a big problem. When your main DPS is waiting 5 minutes at a time for the weakness to wear off, you've got a huge problem. So he's a little cocky, I will say that. So if you see him, and if you see this inertia guy, and he gets cocky like that with you, just ignore him. Whatever. He does sort of know what he's talking about, but he really doesn't know what he's talking about in other regards. So if he tells you how to play your role, don't fucking listen to him. All right. All he has to do is deal damage with light, deal damage with radiance, and then reset his skill chain. After he deals damage with light and radiance, you can weapon skill. There's no problem there. And if he has a problem with that, then that's his problem. Because you need your Aftermath as the tank. It gives me bonus accuracy. I believe that's all it gives. Maybe attack too, I forget. But whatever the case is, with Aftermath, I can actually hit way faster and way more frequently than without Aftermath. And that's relevant when I'm the one that's not dying and I'm the one that's DPSing when you're dead. And yeah, like I said earlier, his regen is a thing. And the samurai argued with me that, oh, I can't actually stop his regen. But you can, to a degree, stop his regen. If you're fully buffed as the paladin and you're my paladin, you can keep him at whatever number he was at while he's regenning. You can keep him at that number. You have to be fully buffed, but you can do it. My atonement's hit for 2,000. I can do 2,000 damage every few seconds with atonement. I don't have it in the log here, but we probably scrolled over it and you saw the atonements for 2,000. Now that's a pretty high atonement damage, but every few seconds being able to crank out that number is super relevant. Yeah, I'm not seeing it, but I was doing 20-25 on the atonements, back to back, all the time. That's DPS, guys. And if your samurai's watching you from the sidelines because he's dead, and he's telling you you shouldn't do that because you're feeding him TP, who the fuck cares if he has TP? Because if he has TP, he's going to hit the paladin, and only the paladin. And the paladin's not going to care, right? I mean, we're built to take damage. So if you can DPS while the samurai is on the bench, you do it. Every time. Don't hesitate. Just don't die, and you're fine. And that's it. That's it for this video. I will actually fight Kay again after work, and I'll try to put this party together again, and we'll get it done, basically. But that's the whole fight. It's quite easy. It's not hard at all. You just gotta believe.